can do a little kirtan.
That's kirtan.
10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll do 10 minutes kirtan.
See a 10 minutes kirtan, then we can. तू भेजेगी?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
इधर लिंक भेज देना
प्रभु को बोला कि महाराज को भेजने के लिए
हरी
So, good evening. How is everybody doing?
ग्रेट
So tonight's a very special evening for us. We're going to get into some real Narasimha Katha, And then we're going to be doing a Narasimha Havan, and that's pretty awesome. The Narasimha Havan is very, very important. It's the most powerful of all the Havans or yajnas. Thank you. Thank you so much. To Damodar Prasad Prabhu for arranging this. Thank you, Damodar Prasad. This is a new center. It's such a beautiful spot. I can feel a lot of good energy is going to come to this beautiful center, so you guys are very lucky. You know, Sanatan Dharma, Vaishnavism is about family, closeness. It's been quite dismantled and perverted in India now. But in the West, I see more and more. It's getting back to the roots of family, closeness, together, bhakti, loving one another, helping one another. So here we are. I drove all the way from Florida to come see you guys. A nice drive, but I went all along the way. I did Tucson and LA and Portland. San Francisco, Portland, Vancouver, and now here. So it's pretty awesome, and he's been with me the whole time. So my name is Dhruva, and I was born into ISKCON, so Metta Prabhupada disciples. So I was born into this beautiful movement, Vaishnavism. And if it wasn't for His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, I wouldn't know anything about Narasimha. You're asking the cue? Maybe we can talk after. Yeah. He brought Narasimha to the West, Srila Prabhupada. Nobody else. Not Vivekananda, not this one, not that one. So many try to take credit, but Srila Prabhupada brought Krishna to the West and this Vaishnav, true Sanatana Dharma to the West. So, I thank him because when I was a young bacha, the gift that I mostly remember, I was like 3 years old, I got the Narasimha Murti. Beautiful. And this kind of, and my father said, he is your divine father, he is your protector. So you should worship him like this. And we knew the story of Prahlad. You know, Prahlad was a bacha. I was also a bacha, so it was very relatable. How God came in this beautiful form of half man, half lion. Narasimha, or in North they say Narsiya, so many different ways they say it in India. And then after he hugged the boy, he kissed the boy, licked the boy. It's such a beautiful pastime. This is Bhav, Rasa Bhakti, you know. So I wanted this as well, you know. And as I grew up, I didn't like school so much. I'm sure some of the kids here can relate to me, even some of the adults. Nobody likes school. But anyways, I really didn't like school. So I was doing everything not to go to school. Some people like this. So, but what I loved was adventure, and I loved this movie called Indiana Jones, finding treasure, temples, like old statues, deities. I was like, wow, this is real. But I didn't know anything about Narasimha Bhagwan in India. In our Western America, they taught us about, the importance of Narasimha, the Narasimha Leela, the Narasimha prayers, which she so beautifully chanted for us all. But I knew of Lakshmi Narasimha, and this one form where he's killing, like Ugra Narasimha, they say. I didn't know there's so many forms of Bhagwan Narasimha. And I definitely didn't know that he appeared in India, in Andhra Pradesh, a place called Ahobilam. Is anyone here from Andhra? Jai. These are kind of like, not the original Narasimha, or their Kula Deva or Ishtadeva is Narasimha Bhagwan. Even still to this day, I'll ask people from Andhra, telling them, who is your Kula Deva? They'll say, oh, Tirupati. And I'm like, Balaji is not your Kula Deva. Narasimha is. Maybe one generation back they switched, but he's definitely Narasimha. So, Ahobilam is there, And I didn't have any idea, right? If the bacha, yeah, you can go out, no problem. It's okay for them to let them enjoy the kids. I didn't know there was the remnants of the pillar. It's called Ugra Stamba, 9 temples. Nobody told us. When I became a teenager, all my friends, 11, 12, 13, they wanted to enjoy, go hang out. We didn't have iPhones back then. We didn't have anything. Long time ago. This is 91, 92. There was no, cell phone was there, but motor cell phone, fat one, big one. You could not say, hey Siri, where's Narasimha temple near me? If I had that before, my God, I would have found so many temples. Now I've only found 1,482 with my own feet walking over 30 years. But if I had technology before, imagine. So I was a teenager. After the Gurukula, I started working. I was working 11, 12. You guys can't understand this. When we were young, we were working 11, 12, 13. Every summer, some job or something. Working with uncle in business. So I was like working, and then I started getting into something more interesting, like very material. Like a thing called modeling, which is very material. So to go from Gurukula to this heavy materialistic thing, but I was protected the whole time. And if it wasn't for this, I would not have found out about a Hogalam. Because I was in the Miami temple, the Hare Krishna temple, and I was helping clean the library, and one book fell, and this book opened, and it said, 9 temples of Narasimha in Andhra Pradesh, Ahobilam, Narasimha's birthplace, in English, written by one of I said, what? So I immediately looked, and I was hooked. I said, I have to go to Ahobilam. But I was 15. What can a bacha do at 15? But I was very independent. I never listened to anybody because I wasn't doing anything bad. So I immediately made plans how it happened. Narasimha arranged everything. I ended up in India by myself. I'd already gone, but now I was by myself as a bacha. Just like Nanda Maharaj's daughter wants to come to my Narasimha tour. She's only 12. But this is the way it should be. From a young age, Prahlad says, take up your relationship with Bhagavan at a young age. Don't wait. But do your school, do your job, do your duty. But start young. Because then the foundation is heavy tight. So when she said this, I was so happy. It reminds me of my old days. And so I started by myself. I had, back then in India, it was heaven. There was no nice roads. It was much sweeter than now. But they had maps. So each bus stand, in India, here we have Seattle, and we have the small suburbs, but there they have like suburbs within suburbs within suburbs. The taluk, I didn't know this. We have the Warangal district, Khammam district, so many. And then within those districts, you have the maps. So I would buy these maps for like 10 rupees. And I didn't speak Telugu. And at that time, I didn't speak Hindi or any of the southern languages. But I knew Narasimha Mandir, Narasimha Devasthanam, Narasimha Temple. So I would open the map. And I had a photo of Narasimha Mandir, Devasthanam. And everybody was so kind. They would just stop what they were doing. Because I was this young white guy, and I had my kamandalu, my karao, lakri karao. I had my, no top, you don't wear it, it's so hot. You just have one little chadar. And my gum, veshti. I didn't need anything. And I didn't even need money, even though I had a lot. Nobody let me pay for it, no bus driver, rickshaw driver. Nobody took 1 rupee from me because they wanted to help me find Narasimha after Ahobilam. But the Ahobilam was my first adventure. And nobody told me there was tigers there. Now I can go, hey Google, Hoboken, is there any tigers? Or what do I have to be aware of? And she'll say, oh, now there's a big tiger problem, be careful. She'll tell me everything I want to know about Hoboken. Back then, there was no guide. I showed up in this tiny village, there was nothing. There's 9 Nava Narasimha, 9 temples. 8 of them were abandoned in caves on top of mountains. Only one was worshipped. Luckily, one older guy was also doing what I was doing, running away from his responsibility. He was doing everything not to go to school, and then, friends were telling me, oh yeah, and then, I have my girlfriend, we'll get married. I was like, no, please, anything to not do this, the typical, which is not bad or wrong. And, I met this guy, Madhu, who spoke perfect English, and he had run away from his family in Bangalore, very, very wealthy family. In India, the eldest, a lot of responsibility. But he ran away. He said, Abba, no. He was like, you and I have to get married. He said, I want to worship Bhagwan for some time. So he ran away. Took one bus. He arrived in Hoboken right when I arrived. Thank God. Because he took me everywhere. One day, now the Narasimha, tigers came. And the last mandiram, we spent the night inside the small mandir. The bears came at night. They were sniffing my head. I thought he was touching me. I don't know this guy. Maybe he's trying to, kidnap me or molest me. But it was breathing. And then all of a sudden, Madhu put his hand over my mouth. Imagine you're sleeping. Somebody comes and puts the hand over the mouth. Immediately your instinct is like, oh my God. And he whispered in my ear, don't make a sound, they will kill us. I said, they will kill us. Shh. And I heard them walking, the big black bears. And we went inside Pavana Narasimha, tiny mandir. We went right inside, and there's Pavana Narasimha. We're sitting right next to Pavana Narasimha Swami, and then we're sleeping in front of him. I couldn't fall asleep, but I eventually fell asleep. And then we woke up, the birds were chirping, there was no bears, but there was tigers. That was very scary. That was my experience of a Hoboken the first time. And I wanted more. More Katrana. More Katrana. Because my friends were all in America, they wanted to, smoke and drink, and, high school stuff. These guys are going to have to face this nonsense. Prabhupada said, school is the slaughterhouse of the mind, the innocence. So, you see, everybody did the same nonsense. Want to go to a party, disco, go to out, really, I don't know, I was not interested in this boring stuff. So, here I am in a Hoboken, with tigers, with my friend Madhu I just met. It was the most crazy adventure of my lifetime, and I wanted more. And I told Madhu, I said, hey Madhu, are there any more Narasimha's temples? He said, you know what, yeah, I think there's some. So I asked him, let's ask the Archakas, the Brahmins, the Pujaris. At that time there was like 3 Brahmins there. Now there's a whole, I made it very famous, so many. Now it's big business, like Tirupati, Ranganath, so many temples, Vrindavan, heavy, Dhaka business, unfortunately. So the Brahmin said, why do you want to go anywhere? Narasimha's here. Just stay in a Hoboken. I should have listened to them. Back then I could have bought all the land, thousands of acres, for like $1,000 or something. Nothing. To protect it. I wasn't thinking, because I was already hooked on this Narasimha Darshan train. I want more. There was 9 different forms. Bhargava, Chaturata, Yogananda, Karanja, a Holy, Kroda, Vira, Balamuki Narasimha, Staki, Pavana, Molola. I thought there was only Lakshmi Narasimha, Rudra Narasimha. What do you mean? And each one had a very special story. And then as I left the Hola, I heard of another temple. The Brahmins wouldn't tell, no, don't go anywhere. Narasimha came here, stay. The pillar is here. And I was going with Madhu. And you know, when I was young, growing up in ISKCON, I would do puja. But I noticed there's a lot of very black and white rules. But as followers of the Goswamis, we practice bhakti. What does bhakti mean? It means pyar, love. Okay. So then, in rules there are no love, and in love there are no rules. Obviously, you should not go on the temple dirty. This is common sense. This is not rules. But we're never taught like, oh, why don't you hug Bhagavan? So the first temple I went to, Bhargava, with Madhu, he said, we went inside. Totally abandoned. Dirty. Many monkeys. Monkeys were inside the Narasimha, chilling out. And we had some water. We started clean it nicely. Madhu had a lamp. We offered a diya. And then Madhu starts massaging the deity. You know? I was like, oh, what is this? And then he kind of hugged him. And then he said, hug him. I said, no, it's okay. No. I'm not pure. He said, pure? He picked up Prahlada and put him on his lap, and he hugged and kissed him. What do you mean pure? Bhagavan is here. He's your father. You're not going to hug your father? You don't hug your father? And so I hugged him, and then I was hooked. This deity is, 1,000 years old. Who knows who hugged him? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. Ramanuja Shankara, Saptarishis, Lord Ram, the Pandavas, Krishna Rukmini Satyadeva. The list goes on. We went to a hovel. Who knows who touched Narasimha? So I immediately. And then we went to another temple, bigger deity. Bigger deity is like you're hugging your father. Put your head on his feet, massage his feet. I became addicted to this feeling of the fatherly love and protective nature of Bhagavan in this form of Narasimha. And then I set off on my journey. Madhu left, and I went on like more than Indiana Jones adventure. I didn't know where I was going. Madhu wrote something in Telugu on a paper. I showed it to one bus guy. He took me to another bus stand in the middle of nowhere, dropped me off. Just 4 pillars and like thatch roof. He said, which meant wait. I learned a lot of, I learned how to speak without speaking. It was awesome. And sometimes this means 5 minutes, sometimes it means 5 hours. And I would sit there in the middle of the forest and sometimes the bus would come and I would have my paper and the other bus driver would write something. And then the new bus driver would be like, sit on the engine. The buses before had the engine that was so hot, the wooden seats. And the bus driver's talking to me in Telugu. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm just agreeing with everything. He's probably complaining about his wife or something. I'm just like, I understand. And I didn't know what he was, and then we would drive, sometimes during the day or evening, late night, and then he would stop the bus. Sometimes I'm the last person, sometimes and then they would say, always, Narasimha. He would point, into the jungle. And there's nothing there. A small road, right? And I would say, Narasimha? Narasimha. Get off my bus. Probably he was saying in Telugu. Okay, go. So, in the nighttime, I would have a little flashlight. They had these keychain flashlights from I think it was Allstate Insurance Company. I was like, this is great. Now This you can see, light up that flashlight would just light up little tiny, not even anything. Sometimes it would work and I'd have to hit it. It was the middle of the night, 10 p.m. He would drop me off and then drive away. But I never felt fear because it was like, I have to find him, I have to see him. And then I would walk and I would hear creatures. I didn't know what the tiger sounded like. Now I know. So all those years, there was tigers, leopards, maybe right next to me. I don't know, it's pitch black. And I'm walking down the jungle. And then sometimes I would see a light or a hut. The Brahmin was standing, or I would see steps to a hill. And at the bottom there, we have the Namam, Shankar Chakra. Sometimes Garuda, and I was like, oh, I'm in the right place, you know. And it's okay. He wants to have fun. And so I would go up the hill, and sometimes there was a cave, a tunnel. And I went, and there's this, you go inside, and there's big eyes with a big mouth, but like not Murlava or Utsava or idol or statue on the wall of the cave. And I was like, what is this? Where's the deity? But I didn't know Swayambhuv Narasimha. Swayambhuv means he came on his own. He gave darshan. So if we all close our eyes and one of us is pure, Bhagavan can appear on the wall. And if he does, this wall becomes Bhagavan's energy, worshipable, Swayambhuv. I didn't know this. So I found so many caves and underground caves in Andhra. Monkeys, cobra, like crazy. Every day it was something new. Sometimes I would walk 20, 30 kilometers and maybe a jeep would come or a fancy Scorpio car, they called it. And they would always fit me in there. Sometimes 20 people in the car. They would give me space. Or I would just hang on the back, you know. And I would already have address for another Narasimha temple, but they would know a different one. And they would take me there. No matter what time, morning, evening, late night. Sometimes I would show up in the morning, 1 a.m. And if there was a Brahmin, I would knock on his door, and he would just come. Or he would hand me the keys. Or he would just say, go, up there, temple is there. And it was incredible. Never was there a moment that his people didn't help me all throughout Andhra. Temple after temple after I disappeared for months. I put my parents in fear because I didn't communicate, because back then you didn't have WhatsApp or whatever the other stuff is. TikTok, Instagram, this, that. I couldn't update my status. You know? And I would try to make phone calls on this ISD STD system they had, which was the most useless thing in the universe. I tried to call America, and it would ring, and they would charge me money for when it's ringing. I was like, no, it's when they answer. And I would fight with them, and then I would hear my father or mother answer, and I'd go, and I'd be like, Mata Pita, but the line would cut. And I would get like, it was wild, so I just didn't communicate. And I disappeared for a long time in this addiction of Narasimha, this, kind of overwhelming, like, more, I want more, And it was something that my friends, when I was young, always wanted to enjoy life with their, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, or want to go to the cinema. So they were always talking to me, it's so nice, you're so happy, but then the happiness would kind of fade very quickly. I didn't like the idea of happiness fading very quickly. I wanted the full, not half chocolate, or full, so I was just so hooked, I wouldn't eat, right? Now I'm doing a vrata, just only eating once a day. Before I wouldn't eat for 1 week. Not because I was doing a vrata, I was so overwhelmed with Narasimha. I would eat sometimes small bananas in South. And then there was these chips called karkadi. You know those ones? Twisty. They're the most probably good. I ate so many packs of those, my God. I can't even look at them now. then sometimes the Brahmins, the Ammas, would give me something. They were always so sweet. And, I carried on. And then, of course, I knew there was another state next to Andhra called Tamil Nadu. Any Tamilians here? One. Fine. And, the Andhra people, the few I met that spoke English, they're like, why do you want to go to Tamil Nadu? Nothing in Tamil Nadu. Just an ocean, fish, many fishermen. Just stay in Andhra. Narasimha is here. Don't waste your time in Tamil Nadu. They're like this state rivalry they had. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Then I made my way to Tamil Nadu and I met one of the most incredible Narasimha female devotees, Amma, old Amma, Yadagiri Padmanabha, her name was. Unfortunately, she left. She was such an amazing Narasimha Bhakta because on my travels, what I realized was Narasimha devotees are not just men, women, they're everybody. Old, young, kids, girls, boys, they all helped me. Sometimes I'd be walking, I see a group of class boys or girls, they have the uniforms, and I'd ask them, they would speak little English, and they'd be like, Narasimha Swami, Devastanam. And then I would say, take me. And they'd be like, oh no, study. I'd be like, no school, not today. And then I would force them to come with me in their uniforms, and then they would go, all pay a bass and say, I would do a little chant. It was so beautiful. Nobody said no. Even the shop wallas opening their doors, I would say, excuse me, English? I said, Narasimha, my dear, do something. And they would stop. And they would have a scooter. I'd say, can you take me in the scooter so I don't have to walk 10 kilometers? And they were so kind. They would close the store, take me. It was such a, just overwhelming experience of kind of like love. Like I wanted to see him and feel him. He said he'll protect you. I was young. I was pure. And he did. I really wanted to see him, have darshan. And then when I went to Tamil Nadu, then my mind was blown because the Cholas, the Pallavas, these big kingdoms, they didn't build small Chota mandirs. They built huge temples with Narasimha deities 3-4 meters tall inside of caves. Huge deities. I had never seen. I saw big deities, but this was like, my mind was inside of a cave tunnel and out there. Unbelievable. And then the journey kind of, Kerala, the Tamils don't like the Keralites. And then, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat. But the Keralites, it was interesting because I didn't know the history of India, the invasions, the Mongols were still trying to take over India. And the Christians, the Portuguese, the French, they all invaded India. So Kerala is very Christianite. What's interesting is when I went to Kerala, nobody helped me find a mandir, but I saw one Gopuram, beautiful, classic South Indian Gopuram. I was like, oh, there's a temple, I'll go speak to the Brahmins. So I went to this beautiful temple, and I'm walking in, and I'm like, oh, some construction. There was one on the top of the Gopuram. In the center, there was a long bar and a cross. I thought maybe they're, repainting some metal. No problem. So I walk in, and I hear the bells, and I see they call Garuda Stamba, every temple has. Why is it? That's not your normal Garuda. What's going on here? I was like, no problem. Maybe Kerala's different. And then I go inside the main temple, and there's nice pillars, the yalis, the Makarakundalas, everything. Apsaras. And I thought, wow, so beautiful. And I go inside, and there's Mother Mary with baby Jesus on the altar. Dressed in a sari. Mother Mary's wearing sari with bangles, with a Mangala Sutra, with Indi, with a head kana. And then little baby Jesus has one little dhoti, veshti. And in my mind, I said, what the hell is going on? This is so weird. You know? And they got little candles, and they have the bench where you come and you kneel and you pray. So I said, okay, because that's the Mother Mary. She's the mother, you know. You have to respect her, and Jesus is a great Vaishnava. So I got on my knees, and I'm wearing Veshti, no towel, like a dirty hippie. I didn't know about Goa at that time. In Goa, many hippies, you know. So I had no idea. So I get on my knees and I said, "Oh, Mother Mary, I hope, Mother Mary, please, Jesus, can you help me find Narasimha?" I'm thinking this in my mind, you know. You know, come on, give me a hand. All of a sudden, a nice voice. "Oh, my son, is everything okay?" That wasn't God speaking to me, or Jesus. It was the priest, the father. You know, he was wearing the very nice man, Father David. Because, you know, he must have thought I was some hippie on drugs or something, because a lot of them come from Goa to Karnataka, Kerala. I said, "Father, I'm having a problem." And he goes, "Oh, how can I help you, my son?" The Christians, they're so good. That's why they're converting so much in India. They actually care. But unfortunately, the Sanatanis don't. They care about their house, their property, but not outside. But the Christians, oh, they'll bring you. They'll give you house, support, whatever you need. So he said, "My son, how can I help you? What's wrong?" I said, "Father, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Like, you're a Christian." He said, "No, but we're here now." I said, "Look, I'm looking for Narasimha Devi." And he goes, "Oh, I know Narasimha. Fourth incarnation of Vishnu." I was not always a Christian, you know. I said, "You know about Narasimha?" He said, "Yes." I said, I started talking very. I got out. "Father, are there any temples around?" He said, "Oh, beautiful. Narasimha, not so far." I said, "Can you take me there? Please, right now. Hold on, my son. Let's first do a prayer." And I was like, Johnny, you know. And he goes, "First, you pray with me in my temple, and then I'll help you find Narasimha." So of course, got on my knees. He got on my knees. "Oh, Mother, thou art in heaven, thy kingdom come." He started saying it's a beautiful prayer, actually. And after he's done, and I was like, "Jai Jesus, Jai Mother Mary." And I got up real quick. I said, "Okay, are you ready to go?" And he had one old ambassador. And he stayed with me for 3 days. 2 nights, 3 days. Paid for my little guest room. He was so kind. He took me to 5 Narasimha Devasthanas. Kerala, they worship very. Narasimha is the god of Tantra. All mantra comes from Tantra. And Narasimha, the foundation of Tantra is Kshrom. This is Narasimha's essence. So, I didn't know this, but he spoke perfect English. He explained. And every time we went into the Narasimha temple, he would always bow. There's 3 types of bowing. There's thinking in your mind, "I respect you." There's verbally saying, "I respect." There's pranams. There's on your knees, and then there's dandavats. So he would always offer respect. And then he said, "You know, Dhruv, I have to go. I have service. You're lucky, you can roam around free." And I said, "But Father, please help me more." And he goes, "I have to confess something to you. Narasimha is still my favorite," he said. "I still consider him like a father, my protector, when I think of God." Unfortunately, Father David died not too far after that, you know, because I couldn't hit him up on WhatsApp. "Father David, how are you?" And nobody had cell phones back then. So, but he helped me, a Christian, you believe it? So many things, adventures were constantly happening, like this, meeting people, kids, young girls, introducing me to their parents who were big Narasimha devotees or scholars or academics or movie stars. When I went to Bombay, I would just stop anybody. Back then, you could stop anybody. Not like now. Back then, the movie stars had no security, nobody cared so much. And I knew if they had someone around them that were important, and they probably spoke English. So I would just stop, excuse me. And because I was white, wearing my paduka, they were very respectful. They're like, oh, everything okay? I was like, yeah, do you speak English? They're like, of course. I was like, oh, thank God. Because, back then, not so much English. So when I could grab someone who spoke perfect English, I would say, I need your help in finding Narasimha Bhagavan. Any temples in Mumbai? And of course there wasn't, because a lot of the original temples were smashed by the British. And even after the British, a lot of the mafia that took over companies and businesses would smash temples to build their high rises. So much I learned later. When I did not like academia in school, but studying Narasimha, I had to become an academic, an anthropologist. It's crazy. So even my second book is like a thesis, and it has temples of Narasimha, most of all the different states, the artwork, and then I had to do collaborations with museums in the world, like the Louvre, the Met Gala, Los Angeles County Museum. There's so many far out, academic institutions which would never talk to me because I don't have a PhD. Look, and this is the most corrupt one, the British Museum. See that? They stole so much from India. But they have a yoga Narasimha in their collection. They helped me a lot. They were so kind how they found him. And then, when you study I had to study all the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Puranas, which we already studied in Gurukul. But to find out more about Narasimha, wait, Shiva worships Narasimha? The Saptarishis, Ganesh worships Narasimha? Kali, Durga worships Narasimha? What? The prayers they offer to Narasimha are so unbelievably touching. This is a painting done from the Upanishads of Shiva. You'll see him in the center. He's there with the Saptarishis and Nardishi, worshiping yoga Narasimha. You see? So he's chanting this famous mantra called the Mantra Rajapada Stotra, which he offered to Narasimha. He offered many prayers, but this one was spectacular. So this artist only paints things that are mentioned in the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, or by the great devotees, not the Ramanuja Shankara, not by the kind of self-proclaimed contemporary gurus. And then look, even Ganesh worships Narasimha. Right? Lord Narasimha, he worships his paduka and he wears a shalagram, Narasimha shalagram around his neck. And Ganesh can give us bhakti, but nobody prays to Ganesh for bhakti. They pray to Ganesh for bucks. Same with Saraswati, Lakshmi, same with Kali Durga. They're all worshippers of Hari, Narayan, Govinda, Keshava, Janardana, Vasudeva, Krishna, Narasimha, Rama. They're such advanced devotees, they can give us Bhagavan. But what do we ask for? Good education, Bariya Patni, good husband, typical stuff, which is fine, but you can ask them to protect what you have because it belongs to Bhagavan. And you can also ask them, please, like Shankara say, hey, take my hand and bring to your lotus feet Sri Lakshmi Narasimha. Kindly pull my hand out of the blackness of Maya and bring me to your lotus feet. Shiva can give us. Ganesh, everybody. You can still love Shiva. You can still love the Devatas. They were all there after Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu. They were right there. But nobody's praying for their mercy. So, in this book I explain a lot about that. And it's a beautiful darshan book. I only have 4 copies. After we're done with the Havam, you can see if you want one. and I have some beautiful deities and stuff. But back to the essence. In my travels, I would see many Swamijis. There was no Swaminis back then. That's a new thing. Swamini. I would meet Swami, but I would meet very powerful bhaktas and Narasimha that were women. Right? And they would all do Narasimha havans and homams. The mantras, the shris, the chakras. They would say, it is the most powerful, all the havans, yagyas or homas, that will give you the results that you desire. But the problem is, when we sit before a havan, nobody prays for anything. They're like, oh, or they talk, space out. Oh, this is a cool event, Hindu event. Let's just hang out, talk about the weather, what's the plan for next week. The havan is so important. It's such an opening of potential for you to ask Bhagawan for what it is that you desire. Right? Like tonight we're going to chant 3 prayers. Dwaras Nama Stotra by Vedavyas. Vedavyas is the eternal Guru. He says, anybody who hears my prayer to Narasimha Bhagawan, all their wishes come true. So what are you going to wish for? You're just going to say swaha and what? Think of your bills and your whatever? No, pray. They've given us it's called a hall pass. And we do nothing with it. So tonight we're going to concentrate. We're all going to move very close to the havan. If people need to sit in chairs, no problem. And you're going to say swaha, swaha, loudly. What does swaha mean? Anybody knows?
Offering,
you speak Sanskrit?
offering to the Swaha Devi, Agni's wife.
Yeah, but that's one, In Sanskrit, there's 4 or 5 meanings. One of them means, please give me. Like your parents. Hey, Appa, Amma, Pitta, Mata, can I have this? So Bhagawan and his Devi are our eternal father and mother. And we don't ask them for anything. It's craziness. So in the Havan, please concentrate. It only takes 15 minutes. And if the kids are being obnoxious, which is totally fine, let them go enjoy it. The parents need to be here, not the kids. They don't have cover. We have the cover. So let them enjoy. And focus on your prayers to Bhagawan. Yes, I am praying for your health. Health is very important. My one godsister just died of cancer a few years ago. And it was sad. But until she really focused on her God, wasn't Narasimha or Krishna, she was a Christian, but she became very focused in the end. And we have to focus on these powerful prayers. The second prayer will be by Lord Ram. Any of you like Lord Ram?
Yes.
And who doesn't? He is Narasimha. Narasimha is him, just another incarnation. Narasimha, then who's after Narasimha? The Vamana, midget. The dwarf. Prahalada's child was who? Vimochana. Who was his son? His son was a Rakshasa. Prahalad's son was not a devotee. He was a Rakshasa. How is this possible? Hare Babare. Yes? But then Prahalad's son's children were who? Bali, and that's why Vamana came. It's all. Narasimha said, I bless your family forever. So the generations of Prahlad's family, both sides, were purified. And then Ram, when he was traveling, him and Goddess Sita Devi and Lakshmana went to Ahobalam. Ram called Narasimha Ahobalam Narasimha, the wonderful, the happy, the joyful Narasimha. And then Ram offered this prayer called the Runa or Rana Vimochana Narasimha Stotram. Such an awesome prayer. Ram says, O Narasimha, he's saying himself, kindly bless your bhaktas or those who pray to you, all their debts be removed. Now look, hold on. This doesn't mean your credit card debt, or your bank, your house mortgage, your car. Sorry. It means your karmic debt that your forefathers passed to your parents, 50%. Your parents' negative karma comes to you, 50%. and then we pass it on to our kids. Unless we're pure bhaktas, we don't, it doesn't just evaporate. But this prayer, Lord Ram says it does. So what are we going to do? Not concentrate? It's one of the sweetest prayers. And then he says, Lakshmi Alamita, goddess of fortune, who is Chanchala. You know what Chanchala means? Ladies. This is applied to only the ladies. It means kind of like this. It's nothing wrong, nothing bad. Right? The husbands can understand. We're different. Nothing wrong with it. Chanchala means you can't hold, like dar ni dar. You put water in your hand, it will leak out. This is the nature of Sri, Lakshmi Ma. She says, anyone who worships my love, Narasimha, she doesn't say my Lord, she says my love. I will go against my own nature and I will remain with them. And who needs Lakshmi? I mean, we all do, especially if you're married. We want Lakshmi to be with us because we worship. That's why I have deities. You should be worshiping Narasimha at home. Absolutely. Or in the office. And then the final prayer will be the mantra Rajpada Stotra by Lord Shiva, one of my favorites ever. It's just heaven. Shiva's prayer will make you cry if you know the translation. The first mantra in the prayer is the Ugra Vira Mahavishnu. We know this prayer. There's so much lies and speculation about Shiva and Bhagwan. Right? Not from Shiva. Shiva is worshipping Hari and doing Hari Katha. He's not doing Shiva Katha. So Shiva says, you are the Mrityo Mrityum Namamyaham. You're the only one that can put fear in Yama's heart about her death. Kanachare. Baba. Where are they going? They don't want to stay for the Hava?
Some of them.
Oh, they have
Some
to.
of them, yeah.
Okay, no problem. We'll pray for them. So he says, no one can put fear in Yama's heart, because Yama is the god of death. Nobody can kind of overcome it. But you will put fear in his heart if he messes with your bhaktas. And then he says, Janama smarana bhita bhuta bhita larakshashaha. Just thinking of your name, Narasimha. Shiva says this, just thinking of it. Imagine you're angry. Say your wife makes you, well, actually the wife never makes the husband angry. The husband makes the wife angry. Okay? Instead of saying, stuff, we say, help me, please. Or, our boss, or somebody gets us angry, just saying his name in our mind. Shiva says, all the Bhutas, Rakshasas, Pischalas run away for their lives. Diseases, just like you tore out your Hiranyakshipu's intestines, you will tear them out from your devotees, your bhakta. And any problems in the mind, Dimag Karab, problems, will be, which we all have, will be pacified. And anyone who hears this prayer of love from me to you, O Narahari, all their wishes and desires will come true. And then we're not going to concentrate. Shiva's given us a free pass. We've done no tapa in our life, nothing. We come to the mandir once a week or a couple times, give a small donation. We think it's tapa. No, we haven't done much. But here we have Vedyas, Lord Ram, and Lord Shiva saying anyone who hears this prayer, all their wishes come true. And we're going to not take advantage of it because we think this is a function. No. This is incredible. So, and Srila Prabhupada said that Narasimha Havan is very important for removing envy, jealousy, and pride, abhiman, which we all have. So, we're going to start this Havan, and I'll talk a little more after, and then, we can get into it. So, are you guys ready?
Very well.
Everybody, especially the young ones, come really, really close to the Havan. I won't use the mic, but everybody get that after it. And if you need the chair, just bring the chair in the back.
You can put there, just there. Or from here?
Yeah.
I think Mamata is
Yes, you can come.
Srikanjagliti is here for me. Funny Srikanth Singh.
Yeah, so they can go and sit in the little group.
Kunal Mukherjee is also not here.
I call him. They're probably serving there. I can call it test tomorrow. You remember? Let's say. Anyone sponsored already? Somebody sponsored, please come to the front. Whoever sponsored, come. Yeah, please come to the front. Those who are sponsored, please come. Everyone also can sponsor, but you can participate for free. If you sponsor, please come. Okay, make space for them.
Yeah, they can bring the chairs close. There's so much space here.
Make space for the sponsors. Okay. You can just go close.
Yeah. How many sponsors do we have? Where are they?
1, 2, 3.
Dinanath Prabhu. Dinanath Prabhu.
Everyone will take some.
Everyone can just. And whoever needs to stand in the back, you can stand for student, no seat for chair, don't be shy. But the main thing is to be close. So let's,
हाँ वो लगा लेते हैं आई थिंक चेयर लगा लेते हैं या वो लगा लेते हैं दैट थिंग
This Narasimha one has been with me for over 1,000 months. And sadly, he's going to ISKCON Poland, Warsaw. They stole him. Well, didn't steal him, but yeah, they bought him from me. Bought, and they gave a donation. They're just taking him, not the Prabhupada. The other Narasimha I had in the Prabhupada went to Singapore this month. I was just there 2 weeks back. Looking at all my Narasimas. I had it made by a master in homam. Now you see the Bhavan Salabri here? Yeah. Everybody get one? And who are the sponsors?
Yeah, that's true. Many want to sponsor them. Sponsor, please raise your hand and take.
Yeah, so when you're throwing the hummus, it's called hummus samagri. In the back, you can stand if it's easy. You don't have to get like this on the fire.
Any other sponsors we get it?
The main thing is you take a little bit. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of your offering. Just swaha, and just throw it towards the fire, okay? Please fulfill my wish, my Lord, or Bhagavan, our divine Father. Try to save, because we want to have a little bit. You turn that mic off. We want to have enough for the end, right? Yeah. Everybody make sure your helmet. Your wife's there? You guys are okay so far? Okay. Any questions before we start? Yeah, if it's easier to stand, then stand. If it's easier to stand, you're totally welcome to stand. There's no rule. And I've studied the Tantra and the Vaikanasa traditions, some of the most amazing songs in the south, the north, Canada. There's no this or that, or this is all a little bit of nonsense. When you're offering like this, it's very sweet, but also, you can do like this. Just don't be fanatic. And please say swaha like a line, not a key. If you don't want to. And you already invited Brahma, the Brahma or Shiva, the Navagrahas, Ganesh, always. Yajna Baruch, Agnidev, and they're all with us. We don't want that draft. So yeah, those are good. Yeah, thank you. And can we turn off the, just these lights, but leave on the whole lights? These whole lights? Yeah, and then just those two, and leave the whole lights on? Oh, now, we want to focus, okay? Everybody's happy, you have brains? Okay, so, what was the prayer that Vladimir sent to bring the one? No, that is actually. But what brought the one? Only one person. He didn't chant the Vishnu Sahasranam, he didn't chant the Vishnu, he chanted the most simple, it's crazy. And then look at him. So I like to start the hymn by chanting this mantra. But first let me get these lamps offered. I'm not sure if you can, wherever you want to offer this lamp, you can give it to them. And try to keep most of your brains just inch, okay? And it's going to be on some people, don't worry about it. It's not poison. Most importantly, I ask, is, the most important thing I ask is parents, leave the kids alone. Worry about it yourself because we have the fun. And secondly, don't talk to kids. Please don't talk very much. There's nothing that you need to discuss. Let's focus together and watch how powerful the prayers are together. We all chant Java. तीक्ष्णादं स्त्रया दिम्महि तनोषि लक्ष्मी नारसिंह प्रचोदय स्वाहा ॐ भद्रानगाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णादं स्त्रया दिम्महि तनोषि लक्ष्मी नारसिंह प्रचोदय स्वाहा ॐ भद्रानगाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णादं स्त्रया दिम्महि तनोषि लक्ष्मी नारसिंह प्रचोदय स्वाहा. Mantra by Vedas. So very powerful. Remember, he says, anyone who hears my prayer of love to Narasimha has all their wishes come true. So Vedas. Hari Om Asya Shri Narasimha Dvarasanamastotra Mahamantrasya Vedas Survandi Shri Anshuchandana Lakshmi Narasimha Devata Shri Narasimha Krityate Jape Om Pratamam tu Mahajvala Vidiyam to Grikeshari Swaha Bhadradam Shascha Chakram tu Visharana Swaha Panchamam Narasimhasya Shascha Kasya Paramam Nara Swaha Saptamo Yatu Hanteya Chastamo Deva Vallava Swaha Now we do the mantra by Lord Ram. Alright, so this one is very, very spectacular. All the different devotees throughout India, whether the Madhvas, whether the Shris, whether the Sikhs, whether the Parsis, they chant this mantra to Narasimha. The Runa Rana Vimochana Narasimha Stotra. So we all love, I love Ram. So let's focus on his mercy. Ram is so merciful. So Hanuman worships him as Ram, Narasimha or Karinja Ram, Narasimha. So let's go. Hey Ram.
Hey Ram.
Ram is. You can do one home with me before we start if you like. Savastambhasamudbhavam Shri Narasimha Mahaviryam Namami Runamuktaye Swaha Om Lakshmi Alangita Vamanyam Bhaktanam Vardayakayam Shri Narasimha Mahaviryam Namami Runamuktaye Swaha Shri Narasimha Mahaviram Mahaviramute Swaha Om Smarnat Sarva Papagyam Katru Jadishanasanam Shri Narasimha Mahaviram Mahaviramute Swaha Om Simmananne Navatat Diktanti Vayanashanam Shri Narasimha Mahaviram Mahaviramute Swaha Jaiteshwarya Vidaranam Shri Narasimha Mahaviram Mahaviramute Swaha Om Krodagaya Viditanam Bhaktanam Abhyayapranam Shri Narasimha Mahaviram Mahaviramute Swaha Om Veda Vidanta Jagyesham Brahma Rudrari Vandidam Shri Narasimha Mahaviram Mahaviramute Swaha Om Yaidam Pahate Nityam Runa Mochana Samagnidam Arune Jayate Satyodhyanam Shri Rama Vyapaya Swaha Om Shri Rama Narasimhai Namah Swaha Om Shri Rama Narasimhai Namah Swaha Now remember, the foundation of Tantra, well, all mantra comes from Tantra. The foundation of Tantra is Narasimha in this very simple Om Shrom. So a lot of these Swamis will just chant this Om Shrom Swaha, lax, sometimes every morning. So I like chanting this together to bring about his essence. It's like his nickname. Like someone, we all have our nicknames, like Pinky or whatever. Mine is Dhruvi. So focus on this. This Ramanuja Madhva then would say, chanting this Om Shrom will bring him before you. He likes this, so you can try this. Very simple. You can try it. Om Shrom Swaha. It's very simple. You can shut your eyes while you do it. Remember Lord Shiva says, just thinking of his name. So we'll do this. Om Shrom Swaha. Now, for my favorite by Lord Shiva. the mantra Raj Stotram. Now remember, this mantra, the first mantra within it is the Ugram Viramaha Vishnu. So if you know this, you can chant this with me. Try not to talk till we're done. If you know this, you can chant this with me, and then I'll carry on to the incredible stotram. So we'll do one Om, and we'll imagine this amazing prayer. Lord Shiva says, oh my God, Prahlad, Narasimha picked up Prahlada and he hugged him and kissed him. This sent Shiva into ecstatic waves of ecstasy, as well as Brahma, the Sapta Rishi, Lord Rishi, everybody, Lakshmi, they said. Shiva started crying. Bhagavan, I want to sit on your lap. I want you to hug me. You've never... Lakshmi even said, when will you put me on your lap? I am your deity. Brahma, Indra, Agni, they're all crying in ecstasy. The Apsaras, the Nagas, the Naginis, can you imagine? But Shiva is something special about his love for Hari. So we'll do this incredible prayer, and please focus on Shiva's love. We'll start off with one Om and really focus on imagining Mahadev worshipping Hari, which he does. So.
Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Nityo Nityam Namamyam Swaha Om Pritodha Pula Vishalaksham Vipakshakshashadekshitam Neenadasrasra Vishwadam Vishnugram Namamyam Swaha Savyarvyadyatmatam Praptam Savalogam Diteshrutam Nakagrai Shugaleju Preyastam Viram Namamyam Swaha Parvastapatapatalam Moradvistat Trivistavam Bhuja Prishtasirisaram Marishnum Namamyam Swaha Jyotim Satindriya Nakshastra Jwalindriyukramat Jwalanti Tejasya Stvam Jwalantam Namyam Swaha Sarvindriyairapi Vina Sarvam Sarvatra Sarvada Janatiyo Namam Yadyam Tamaham Sarvadhomugam Swaha Narvatsim Bhavajaiva Rupam Yasya Mahatmana Mahasatam Mahadamstram Tam Narasimham Namamyam Swaha Yanamasmaranat Bhita Bhuta Bhitala Rakshasa Rogadyascha Pranashanti Bhishanam Tam Namamyam Swaha Sarvopiyam Samastriya Sakalam Bhadramastude Shriyaja Bhadrayajusto Yasam Bhadram Namamyam Swaha Sakshat Swakale Sampraptam Tatrum Satrugananabhi Bhaktanam Nasya Tejasu Mrityo Mrityum Namamyam Swaha Namaskarat Bhagam Yasmai Vidyatmanani Vedanam Chiktadukokilam Kamam Masmidetam Namamyam Swaha Dhyana Bhutasvatav Sarve Hyatmana Paramatmana Atoham Abhidejasat Iti Matva Namamyam Swaha Shankaranendra Choktam Paranam Tattvamuttamam Sri Sanjam Yafpate Tasya Vidyayo Shrishya Bharate Swaha Sri Rudra Narasimhai
Namaste, Jaste Ravirabhava, Vadranakabadradam Strakamasayam, Arande Rande Atamo Grasya Grasya Om Swaha, Mamayamatmani Bhushidam Om Shrom Swaha, Namo Bhagavati Narasimhaya, Namaste, Jaste Ravirabhava, Vadranakabadradam Strakamasayam, Arande Rande Atamo Grasya Grasya Om Swaha. Now we will offer simple Lakshmi Gayatri mantra to Narasimha. Remember, the goddess of fortune says, those who worship my love, my pyar, Narasimha, I will remain with them. None of us are free from not needing Lakshmi, except the sannyasis. But sometimes they need it these days too. So we focus on her. And when you're offering this prayer, my Swamiji's taught me, when you're saying Swaha with Devi's, Lakshmi Narasimha Patni she is, you act like you're really in front of them. Imagine their lotus feet, and you're offering it to their lotus feet, showering it on their lotus feet. Okay? It's beautiful. That's how I was taught, and I'm just passing their message on to you. So.
And why are they putting
Om Mahalakshmi Chadmahe Narasimha Patni Chadimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Mahalakshmi Chadmahi Narasimha Patni Chadimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Mahalakshmi Chadmahi Narasimha Patni Chadimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Mahalakshmi Chadmahi Narasimha Patni Chadimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Hrim Hrim Shrom Swaha Hrim Shrom Swaha Hrim Shrom Swaha Hrim Shrom Swaha Om Narayanaya Cha Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Narayanaya Cha Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Narayanaya Cha Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tano Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Prachoryat Swaha Om Shrom Swaha Om Shrom Swaha Om Shrom Swaha Om Shrom Swaha Om Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Shri Chaitanya Narasimha Swaha. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Narasimha Swaha. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Narasimha Swaha. Om Shom 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 Swaha. Om Shom
Beautiful. You see how nice it is when we do it together? The Havan is not about the Brahmin. Sometimes the Brahmins make it about them. It's not about them. It's Abhiman, the Brahmins. The Brahmin just chants the mantras, but you create the potency of the prayer from the Havan to him and their lotus feet. That's why you have to say it loudly. Like the Lord said, as a child is asking, oh, my father, oh, my Narasimha, Mata Narasimha, Pita Narasimha, Appa Narasimha, Amma Narasimha. These prayers are there, beautiful. He is our father, he is our mother. So you have to cry. We were yelling, so maybe some were crying. So now we'll stand for Punuti and have your grains. The most important thing, this is mainly for the ladies, because the ladies like to smother Agni with their love. When you offer your samagri, ladies put him just around, not on him, because I need him for another minute after we sit down, okay? Doesn't matter on or around, it's the same exact thing, okay? Main thing is your prayer when you say swaha. So let's all stand, pick up your grains if you have any left. And if anybody wants to, you can have a coconut. You can break the coconuts and share if you need it.
Break it and share it.
You can share the coconuts if you need it. 1, 2, 1, please. Thank you. But try not to talk, just still keep focus. You guys can break it up. Break it up. And I'll have the bits. So, try our best to stay focused. Any of the people who are not so talk, but try not to, we don't need to talk, just try to focus. So, now, you can do a okay, this is a very simple prayer, Ram Shanti together. And then at the end, when we say Swaha, we've done everything in. And then we'll look. Yeah, just around. Don't kill the fire, ladies and bitches. And then we'll do we'll sit, we'll talk for a few more minutes, and then you can see the devotees and ask you what you want, share your experiences. So it's a lot of this.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Rim Shom, Om That Rim Shom, Om Govinda Keshava Janardana Vasudeva, Vishvesha Vishwamabhusura Vishwarupa, Shri Padmanabha Purushotama Pushkaraksha, Narayana Chutta Sudakshi Narasimha. Om Govinda Kesava Janardana Vasudeva Sudana Vishwarupa Shri Padmanabha Purushottam Pushkarachana Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Namaste Vat Sat Krishna Om Govinda Om Govinda Keshavadana Vasudeva Vishvesha Vishwarupa Vishwarupa Shri Padmanabha Purushottam Pushkarachana Narayana Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Namaste Narayana Chutta Shri Krishna Govinda Namaste Shri Krishna Namaste Vat Sat Hrim Shom Swaha
Swaha. Swaha.
If anybody needs a chair,
Last one.
How was that, right? So that you see the potency of prayer together. See that? In the old days, the Brahmins, they would be chanting the mantras, and anybody could come anybody could come into the mandir Jerusalem. You need a chair, grab a chair, and they could start chanting there. And then everybody could just start chanting their prayers. Very special. So that's why we do it together. So another amazing thing about the end of the Haman, everybody knows what the Vibhuti is, right? It's the black stuff from the Haman. So the Vibhuti is not just like some sort of decorative bindi. Haman party. This is a very significant. It's all of your prayers go into it. And then you're putting that on your third eye. And then it's the scientific point of view that it hits all the spots, chakras, and very purifies. Purity is the force, power. So that's why they say you take this home and you put it on. It doesn't lose the essence. So you're making this, and normally you have a ritual that goes around the hand, you don't have this time. And we'll be giving you the Hanukkah, the Shikari on your heads. This is from many, traveled with this long time, many more stuff they've done on the Mondays, this is touch. And then also you have your Narasimha, homam Shila. So where the Shila manifests, there's the remnants of the pillars there, Kubra Stamba. So this piece is the first one I got 30 years ago. Everybody went on top of this pillar. Bhagwan Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhagwan Lord Ram, and Ramayana. All the Shri Ramanuja Madhvashankar Saptarishi, everybody went there. This is from that spot. So people, when they go there, they'll take the stone and they'll rub it, make a wish, put it on their hand, their heart, whatever. Get goodness. So I'll pass this around, you can touch, we'll offer prayers. And one amazing story, probably we don't know because a lot of us haven't studied the Upanishads and the Vedas very clearly. So when Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu, at one point he became so jwalamukhi, emanating flames of fire. He obliterated Hiranyakashipu. The body almost disappeared and everybody was freaking out. Oh, did Hiranyakashipu escape? Because the Hiranyakashipu is the most powerful of all the Rakshasas. He could disappear. And he played with Bhagavan like this. So no. Then Narasimha looked at his nails. So and Hiranyakashipu's body pieces were in his nails. And he flicked them hither and thither, and then he started laughing. And this laughter struck fear in the hearts of even Rama and Shiva, because this was a hysterical, like, he did it, he saved his bhakta, he eliminated Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu's body spread all over Ahobilam, not because he was a bad guy, he was not a bad guy. Remember, God touched him. This is a misunderstanding. It's so that all the bhaktas are walking on his body. Right? So what a blessing Bhagavan gave him. And then when Bhagavan sat in his asana, his beautiful, when Hiranyakashipu conquered heaven, Indra, he made fun of Indra. He said, this is for a beggar. You're God of heaven, and you have this simple chair. So he said, I want a chair built for God. I am God. So he had Vishwakarma create this chair, the most opulent asana throne. And after Narasimha killed him, he carried his torso to the throne, and he put him in front of the throne, and he sat in Hiranyakashipu's throne, and he put his paduka on Hiranyakashipu's body. Again, Shiva cried, he said, Hey Brahman, O Keshava, Vasudeva, Krishna, Hari Murari, how is it we want your paduka on our heads? You have not done this for us. Brahma's crying, all four heads are crying. The Devatas, the Apsaras, the heavenly nymphs are screaming, crying on the ground. We want your, and look at you, putting your feet on Hiranyakashipu, and you're sitting in his asana. Indra said, I made you an asana. I am God, you never sat on it. Right? Brahma, I made you an asana, all that you've never sat upon it. Look, you are sitting upon Hiranyakashipu's asana. They're glorified, not envy. It was glorification. So it's so incredible. So this stone comes from this place. A lot of women will take little stones when they go there, and they'll put it in their trophy. Everything, you can find anything in a woman's trophy. Everything. You have money, whatever you want. So they'll have these stones, little coins. I was telling the girls earlier, India, the ladies have the coins of Balaji. They'll put it in there over their heart, always with them. It's like a clutch or a yantra. Very powerful. So when there's somebody yantras, you should have it with you everywhere. And so this is what I learned when I traveled. His people, like Prahalada, have a certain type of humility. Prahalada said, so he said you can offer a fruit, a flower, or a leaf, or water, and he'll accept it if it's love and devotion. Now imagine if you come home from work and you bring your wife a leaf. Yeah, I love you, darling. Even if it's with love. But then, right? Why are you giving me a leaf? I want flowers. Bhagavan, you will accept that. It's love and devotion. And because it's said from his pure bhakta, Allah, Shiva, Ganesh, the Devatas, Saptarishi, Maharishi. So remember that. We have so much time for chit-chat, nonsense, for jalpa. But what do we do in the morning when we wake up? I'll tell you what most people do in the morning. What's the next reel? Oh, but I'm having darshan. Why not wake up and say, oh my Lord, I love you. Good morning. Narasimha, Balaji, Krishna, Vittala, Ramanathan. I love you. Thank you for another amazing day with my husband, my wife, my kids, my job, my work. Thank you. it's talking about. We put on a big show. And then in the evening, what do we do? After we watch our Netflix binge show, YouTube videos, whatever your poisonous, no problem. But after you tell, of course, you have to tell your wife you love her before bed, or a big coconut. You say, I don't know, another amazing day. How do you tell me what you love? It's not some big prayer that we just chanted from maybe us or Shiva or it's I love you. You've given me this eye watch is yours, your energy. This nice little story. Your energy. Thank you. My new car, my house, my promotion, my beautiful kids' health. Thank you. I love you. Yeah. We know. And this is what the Lord talks about. In his whole teaching, if you study, so he's gratitude from Bhagavan. Bhagavan doesn't need your stuff, man. He wants love. What focus from? Love and devotion. So don't forget that. So if you have a deity or want a deity or have a kavacha, remember, have a relationship with God. Really cultivate it. That's what all the Swamis should have wrote about. Personal relationship with the Lord. Right? Japa is that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But more chanting or Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Oh, God, again. Or I forgot the groceries. Right? It's natural. We're humans. There's nothing wrong with it. But you know say, I love that. Because with us, it's conditional. Depending on how we wake up in the morning. But it's not conditional with it. It's not conditional with his Bhakta Shiva. His Bhakta Ganesh. Oh Shiva, the most incredible Bhakta. Can you please bring me to your Bhagavan? Because I know you'll open the door. Because you're very merciful. Shiva deals in Tama Raju. The door is completely open for Tama Raju people. He's so merciful. We never ask him. We say, oh, I need to meet this whatever it is. But so remember that please. Narasimha is our Father. He does not judge us. He does not hold the gun over our head to tell him we love him. Just look at Prahlad, follow his teachings. And I hope your prayers were really, they felt very powerful. The yoga was very powerful. So when you put this vibhuti, the last offering to close it, which I don't like money. I can't stand when Brahmins ask for money. This is not a business. But in the homam teachings, the last offering is the Lakshmi. Krishna Pavitra Lakshmi. From her, which is Lakshmi, you give something, please touch his feet, take a flower, I'll put the body on the head, please don't touch his feet. Be a little careful because you can fall. And you get the vibhuti. If you want to leave something, leave something. And then I'll sit over there. You can talk some more, you can see the deities, ask questions, hang out. And please take this energy with you. And don't be lazy. It takes 1 second to say, I love you, Lord. 1 second. Thank you for everything. That's it. You can chant. Think of him in the shower. You think of him in the bathroom. You think of him. Doesn't matter. Anywhere. Nothing is not black and white. So, if you want to turn the lights on now, you can. So everybody can see where we're going. I'll make them briefly. Actually, would you like to say something? No. Oh, okay. We'll do it at the end. I'll make the vibhuti and then everybody please come and touch the lotus feet. First we're going to make this. Any questions or comments? Again, thank you all so much for coming. Every Friday night, tonight off, for watching stuff. All right. Okay, make this. Okay. So, ready? start coming. Is your daughter ready? Ready? Are you ready?